Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
It's the final resting place for a woman murdered 7 years ago. Now Chelsea Small's family wants to know who would vandalize it.
Plus, in person or remote? That's the question school districts are scrambling to answer. What parents and students are saying about the possible decision.
But first, Governor Whitmer standing by her decision for a 3-week pause as the state battles the coronavirus. The new restrictions come as the state deals with a recent surge of new cases.
The state reached a grim milestone with the 8,000th death since the pandemic began. The state reports 12,763 new cases with 55 deaths from the virus. Now remember, that is a 2-day total from yesterday and today. The total number of confirmed cases across the state is at over 264,000, with 8,049 lives lost.
New at 6, Plymouth Canton Community Schools are shifting back to remote learning beginning next Monday. And in other news, Republican Congressman Tim Walberg has announced he has tested positive for COVID-19.
Meantime, Governor Whitmer says 13% of the state's tests are coming back positive, and that needs to go down drastically.
If we push these positivity rates back down to below 3%, we'll know that we've gotten our arms around COVID and can re-engage things.
The city of Detroit is also taking action in order to stop the recent surge of COVID-19. Mayor Mike Duggan announcing today the city is bringing back rapid testing for all Detroiters.
And this comes as the city's 7-day infection rate is near 7%. He says the city is affected by the higher infection rates in surrounding communities.
We would have been the magnet for all of the highly infected groups in this state to come here. And so while I know it doesn't seem fair to the casino operators and the restaurant operators in Detroit, as well as you have done, and you have done an outstanding job, there is not a wall around Detroit. And so the governor did what she had to do.
Starting tomorrow, the health department will rapid test all staff and residents at the city's 25 nursing homes. Now, while the governor is clamping down, there is no standing ovation for her over in Lansing. The legislature is not in session because of the traditional deer season recess, but there is work happening through conference calls and Zoom meetings.
However, there is no interest in collaboration between the legislative and executive branches tonight. Rod Maloney is live with that story tonight for us. Good evening, Rod.
Yeah, good evening, Jason. Good evening, Karen. You know, it's a situation where the governor wants a mask mandate law. Legislature saying, no, we don't think so. In the meantime, the legislature saying, look, we want to be able to do more and have something to say in the decision making. And the governor saying, no. And so therein lies the rub, and it's only getting worse.
The governor blasted the legislature for spending more time dealing with members who contract COVID and shutting down sessions than anything else. Plus,
but right now, they're not even around to act. They're on hunting break through December. And so we've got to act urgently. This is literally the worst week we've had in the last 9 months. And I'm the only one in town doing the work that needs to be done.
That's not to say there haven't been talks. Leadership and the governor have had conference calls.
I asked them to consider the mask mandate. It's the best tool that we have, the best weapon against our common enemy. Everyone on that call acknowledged it, and yet the Republicans were unwilling to even codify what we know to be the best tool.
Republican State Representative Jason Shepard says the governor decided long ago to go it alone.
That's frustrating. Back in the spring, we put a whole comprehensive package together in regards to COVID response, which she vetoed and did not accept.
Now, the governor and the legislature did agree on the Return to Learn schools program, now in part undone by the high school order, and Republicans aren't sure about the governor's new order anyway.
We want to be driven by data. We want to know, is shutting down in-person restaurant dining in the entire state going to actually change the spread of COVID? Does that actually occur?
Now, one of the things that they've also talked about in Lansing, the Republicans, is this notion that a one-size-fits-all approach across the state is the right answer. They do not believe it is, and they believe the governor needs to have that conversation, and they say she's not willing to do so. Back to you.
Yeah, the whole working together plan here, Rod, just seems to be going up in flames, not getting any better. What's next in all this?
Well, here's the thing, Jason. One of the legislators, State Representative Matt Maddock from Milford, is saying that he'd like to see impeachment hearings in Lansing for the governor.
Well, that's a little drastic there. All right, we'll wait and see what happens with that. Rod, thanks.
And while the governor shut down high schools for the next 3 weeks, school districts across the state are grappling with the idea to take it one step further. They are trying to decide whether or not to close down in-person learning for the rest of the year. Paula Tutman has been talking to parents, students, and administrators on the impact.
I forced him to get up to join us.
Today, 14-year-old Amir, a ninth grader at Lands Cruz High School, is in quarantine because he was exposed to a friend with COVID. And he explains an uncomfortable truth when he's around his friends.
Everybody trusts each other not to have corona, so we take off the mask.
Much to the surprise of his mother.
I'm hearing it just at the same time you are. He admittedly knows who he was exposed by, and he said they were symptomatic. They are sick.
Part and parcel of why Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has shut down high schools for the next 3 weeks to curb community spread. But some school administrators think the plan stops short for real impact.
We're seeing this doubling of cases across the system. We don't have a delineation that would say there's none of this impacting our elementaries or less of it impacting K-8 than 9-12.
Today, numerous school districts are making a choice that goes beyond the edict of the health department as they weigh risk versus reward in returning any student back to school at all for the remainder of the year. The Romeo School District, for instance, in northern Macomb County, is one of those systems that has to weigh holiday spread.
We definitely saw a rise in cases that we think were attributed to Halloween weekend. So if that's any indication of people, gathering and that what's going to happen, then that creates concern for us, as I know it does all districts. We've had some discussion about what does this look like after Thanksgiving, if people get together and, celebrate the holiday and that, and then subsequently, what does this look like after, the winter break and the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. And if it was possible for us to get some in-person learning in between the two, I think we'll try to do it. But it is definitely logical to consider coming back after the first of the year.
So for the next couple of weeks, districts will be meeting with their boards to discuss the risk versus reward of bringing their students back for just a few days, or whether or not it makes more sense logistically to just keep them out until next year. And of course, you can expect that to change based on the progression of the disease. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
Yeah, all right, Paula. The state's newest restrictions will shut the doors to several popular entertainment venues. That includes movie theaters, which just reopened in October. Now, another extended closure is on the horizon. As Victor Williams explains, theaters have to wonder for how long.
The newly announced set of restrictions is yet another devastating blow to the movie theater industry, so much to the point that some owners are asking the question if closing the door to the big screen is really necessary. It's been an absolute roller coaster for the movie theaters in Michigan, from initially having to set capacity limits for social distancing in the beginning of the pandemic to having to close for months to flatten the curve. Now, after just a few weeks back open, they've been ordered to close once again.
We're feeling that this most current action is unjust.
Imagine Entertainment co-founder and chairman Paul Glant says he can't help but feel there have been inconsistencies when it comes down to determining which businesses remain open and closed.
There has not been a single reported incident of COVID outbreak among moviegoers worldwide, and yet to again single out our industry for closure, I believe is indeed wrongful.
For months now, the theater has made sure all procedures are being followed, but they weren't able to avoid another closure at the hands of the government.
We've been applying protocols and safety procedures. We've been insisting that our guests wear masks, every CDC protocol in place.
Glenn says his biggest concern is going to be the amount of people now without a job.
We're going to have to again lay off our teammates that we've just called back. And I'm concerned about their economic health.
And he's anticipating to be back in business soon with hopefully more concrete data and transparency that points the finger at theaters being responsible for the spread.
And if the governor has science and data, please bring it forward. That would be a much easier pill to swallow.
So we're going to have a lot riding on these next few weeks to see if these COVID numbers go up or down before the end of this newest set of restrictions. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor, you know, one way they can lower the temperature of all the politicians in Lansing, Karen, simply just open the doors up.
Oh, it is cold. It's just getting colder out there. I think it's like fireplace weather, right, Ben?
Fire them up.
Put them all outside. Maybe they'll come up with an agreement a lot sooner, right?
It'll be interesting.
Storm Tracker 4 has got precip coming in from the west. Notice that the colors are starting to change there. That leading edge of rain is now starting to transition more to snow. But also look at the shape of this. That curved line indicates as it approaches the radar site, a lot of that stuff is elevated, so it may not be making it to the ground. So we'll keep an eye on it. We do anticipate by 7, 8 o'clock tonight there will be snowflakes, especially in the northern half of the area. Just about everybody's going to see that by 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And then by midnight, we should be pretty much done with just some minor accumulations on grassy surfaces, maybe some mailboxes and deck railings at that. Otherwise, the impacts are going to be pretty moderate here through the week. We've got the coldest high temperature of our season so far tomorrow. Wednesday, we get a little bit of a break. Then the wind comes back Thursday, and we're looking at another chance of rain Friday. We'll talk all about that. And of course, your 10-day forecast, which is on the Local Forecasters app. You can get that for free in your app store by searching WDIV. Guys?
All right, thank you, Ben. Now to the transition of power in Washington. President-elect Joe Biden is asking for President Trump's help in stopping the coronavirus.
President-elect Biden met with labor leaders and CEOs from companies, including General Motors, on the economy today and on the pandemic. Biden says the focus is on getting the virus under control, then getting the economy on track. But he says the Trump administration's refusal to work together is holding the nation back.
And getting the vaccine and a vaccination, though, are two different things. The sooner we have access to the administration's distribution plan, the sooner this transition would be smoothly moved forward.
While President Trump has not conceded, the president's national security advisor says there will be a professional transition to the Biden administration. More on today's developments in the nation's capital ahead at 6:30 on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt in just about 20 minutes from now. Still to come, vandals target a murder victim's final resting place. New at 6, you'll hear from the family of Chelsea Small. But first, a Ferndale man is facing charges for what he was allegedly doing with a hidden camera. Those details coming up.